Ananse and Nothing. This is a Ghanaian folktale. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Before we start, make sure that you're in a comfortable position. You need to relax. Now on to the folktale. Close to the pathetic little hut that Ananse lived in was a beautiful gallant palace that housed a rich man called Nothing. Both Ananse and Nothing had no wives and yearned for the presence of a woman in their respective abodes. So one day, they decided to go out together to the neighboring village to find wives for themselves. Nothing was a man of substance and adorned himself in a fine kente attire. All Ananse, being very poor, wore a tattered cotton cloth. When they set off, Ananse noticed that Nothing would have an advantage over him with the fine cloth he was wearing, so he persuaded Nothing to exchange clothes with him. Nothing was a generous man and readily exchanged his beautiful cloth with Ananse's ugly ones. When they finally arrived at their destination, most of the women in the village saw how both men were dressed and instantly assumed that Ananse was rich and Nothing was poor. So they easily agreed to be Ananse's wives and snubbed Nothing. But after trying so hard to find a wife for himself, a young woman took pity on Nothing and agreed to be his wife. This woman was mocked severely by Ananse's wives for choosing to be with a poor man like Nothing. Why have you refused to use your sense? You have chosen him when his name should be enough warning for you. He has nothing, one of his wives said mockingly to Nothing's wife. But she paid them no heed. Both men soon began their journey back home with their wives. When they finally reached the crossroads that led to their respective homes, the wives were very surprised. The road leading to Ananse's house was very narrow and unkempt, with weeds scattered all over, while the path leading to Nothing's home was large and well kept. It had also been decorated with beautiful carpets and flowers. His servants were there too, ready to welcome his arrival back home. Sadly for Ananse's wives, no one came to give him a welcome. Nothing's wife was made queen over the town and was given everything her heart desired. Ananse's wives, on the other hand, were given the treatment their pauper husband could afford. No proper meal, horrible accommodation, and tattered clothes. They had to live on bananas and peppers to survive. One day, the wife of Nothing threw a grand feast and invited Ananse's wives after hearing the pathetic way they were living. When they came, they were very pleased with what they saw. Several foods were lined up for them: impotompoto, eto, boiled plantain with abom, fufu with light soup, amongst others. They ate and drank and refused to go back to Ananse's home. Ananse was furious, to say the least. How dare Nothing steal his wives from him? His fury was enough to drive him to consider thoughts of killing. He tried all ways that came to mind, but they were all unsuccessful in eliminating Nothing. After several tries, he finally came up with the best idea he had had so far. He took his rat friends to Nothing's home and convinced them to dig a hole in front of his door. When they finished, he lined the inside of the hole with long sharp knives and several broken glasses. He then smeared the steps of the door with cooked okra juice to make it very slippery. Then he began to call out loudly to Nothing. He yelled for him to come out to see something. Nothing's wife had a bad feeling about it and dissuaded her husband from going out. But Ananse would not stop shouting. Nothing, having had enough, decided to go out despite his wife's warnings. He was determined to know why Ananse was making so much noise. He opened the door, and when he placed his leg on the step, he immediately slipped and fell into the hole that Ananse had lined with knives and broken glasses. He wailed out in pain, and this alarmed the entire household. They fetched torches and went out to find nothing. Unfortunately, they found him in the ditch, so wounded that he had died immediately. Grief washed over his wife at his death. It was too much to take in. As a way of mourning for him, she boiled many yams and mashed them, making eto. Then she went round and gave them to all the children in the district, asking them to help her cry for her husband. This is why when children cry and you ask them why, you will often find that they are crying for nothing. Ananse and nothing. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. God bless you for watching. Bye.